down. Checking for survivors. Reinforcements are on their way.
All right, listen up. The infecteds are ruthless, strong, and they're smart. We were on a recon mission, killing infecteds. When we got redirected here, it'd be an emergency. I want a ready op ASAP.
We thought you could use the help. Alistair?
Yes, Jim. This nearby base was running tests.
Where's Faction 13 now?
Captain Rupert hasn't responded in a week.
We gotta go now.
I will protect my team.
Then let's get started.
We need a team that knows how to work together.
I knew I was there. That's the plan.
Hit him!
Go, Jim. I got this.
Hello, everyone. My name is Heather Hurt with the NRW, where nerds rule the world, and I am here today with Marc Singer, the one and only, who played Colonel Green in Agent RECON, that is coming soon to digital and on demand. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fine, Heather. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very lucky to talk to you. I'm a big fan, big fan.
I'm back at you. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's nice to be with you.
Thank you. Let's talk about the role. How did Agent RECON come to you, and what did you feel when you first read Colonel Green?
Well, there are two things I sort of balance when I'm looking at a script. One of them is, does it seem like a good movie? Does it seem like something that's going to be entertaining? Can I see the images in my head? Does it kind of carry me along, and can I imagine it up on the screen? So that's the first thing. Is it actually a workable idea, and does it capture me in the way that cinematic ideas should? But the other thing, which is the heart of the matter, is what's the character like? What's the story? And if the character is complex enough and carries enough weight, as Colonel Green does in Agent RECON, then I'm gonna go with it, because Colonel Green, the character that I play, I think the importance of it and the fun of it and the relevance of it is that he has a generational struggle with his own daughter, who's in the same profession. They're both in the military. And the idea that his daughter is in a stressful situation where she could lose her life, and that it's up to him to get in and get her out, it's a kind of a metaphor for how important the relationships in families are, just raised to a visual level on the screen by the combat situation that we find ourselves in. So it's really the character and the character story and how they interact and whether or not they're relevant to the broad section of people who are going to be enjoying the film that is the clincher for me.
Absolutely, and we're seeing that a lot more. The older generation of action stars they're still keeping up, but I like that you didn't have to play this young guy. You played a character that could be an older generation. That's something that's just absolutely wonderful to me.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, time is going to take care of that. When every page in the calendar is numbered, but they blow in the wind. It's another thing that I think appealed to me, especially in Agent RECON and playing Colonel Green, is the idea that he's a veteran of the struggles that he's engaged in. And the movie industry is a very demanding industry, and I'm a veteran of that. And so in many ways, it was easy for me to invest myself in the character of Colonel Green. I think a way of expressing it might be that in ordinary conversation, the kind we're having right now, where there's no need for me to expose what's the inner workings of me, nor you to expose what's the inner workings of you. There are all those complexities are they're not appropriate to the situation that we're in right now. But when you're on screen, depending on the parameters of the character that you're playing, all that inner complexity is supposed to get channeled and made apparent in order to give that character life. So then all that inner complexity and inner experience has an appropriate venue to show itself. And so with me being a veteran and Colonel Green being a veteran, there was a close affinity, and I that really appealed to me.
That is an incredible way to put it. That was wonderful.
It's the best I can do.
Let's talk about the physicality of the movie a little bit. This movie had a lot of practical effects and a lot of choreographed scenes.
Yeah.
What in a digitizing world, we're seeing less and less of that. Is that something you still seek out, and what do you do to get into that physical shape and in that mental shape?
Well, that's a lot of ground to cover in one question, but that's the nature of the performing arts. It's the nature of filmmaking, is that everything you are in life and everything you've experienced in life, you bring with you, and you certainly utilize as much as is appropriate on the screen in every role. As far as the action adventure part of Agent Recon is, I can just say that the fun of filmmaking, especially if you're doing an action adventure, is being as physical as you can and doing all the stunts that you can personally. And the kind of credentials that the audience accepts as the basis for who you are when you're on the screen comes from that involvement. There's a tempering process that happens in films that happens to actors over the broad arc of their career in films, because films benefit from as much authenticity as the actor can bring to it. And that tempering really brings out the metal of your personality over the years. And so keeping up with the action adventure line, wanting to participate in the action, being capable from years of experience, which I think can be attributable in every performer who likes to do that kind of stuff, can be attributable from what they wanted to do all the way from youth. Those are all the precious ingredients, and they are the defining features of who you are when you're on the screen.
Absolutely, absolutely. What was your favorite moment that you got to perform during the film? Try not to give away too many spoilers, of course.
Wow. You know, I sometimes it's the smallest thing. It's the lifting of a teacup in the middle of a scene, or it's the, unlocking of a door or something like that. And somebody said, really, that was the thing? You were jumping over buildings and shooting guns and exploding cars and doing things like that, and you like the teacup? So it's a question that has a bunch of answers. I think really my favorite moment was arriving on the movie ranch set where we filmed a major portion of our recon mission. And it was it seemed to be a Mideastern town that had been deserted. And it was one of Hollywood's great old deserted town locations. And it reminded me of when I worked with Henry Fonda, how he looked at a new set that was being built for Roots, Part 2, which in which he played my father, and he was looking at it with the same appreciation that I was looking at these sets that we got to work on out in the wilds of the San Gabriel Mountains, so really that was my favorite moment, was when we arrived on location and I saw that this was where we were going to be working.
That is so sweet. That is so beautiful. Agent Recon arrives on demand and on digital on June 21st. Thank you, Marc, so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
Heather, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.